Well, that's fantastic. I love this. The sprinting to the end stories are always the best.
Yeah. Oh
also,
my gosh.
Could the shiny Latias run? They couldn't, right? Because they're technically legendary.
I thought they could.
They could. Okay, well then this went from the luckiest. This could have gone from the luckiest to the unluckiest story. So congratulations, even more.
Yeah, I don't remember one way or the other. Oh my gosh.
I actually can't either. Somebody will correct us for 2 weeks from now, probably.
We didn't make a claim. We said we think it's this, but we're not sure.
Yeah.
We're safe. Liability, we're good.
You're tuned into the GOCast podcast, your one-stop shop for updates, news, tips, and community in the world of Pokemon Go. Thank you for listening.
We're packing up for GoFest next week in the Big Applin.
Get a bingo with Lingo during this week's Gear Up section.
And more on this episode of GoCast. Hello and welcome to the GoCast podcast episode 248. It's August 13th. It's a Sunday. It's 12:30 p.m. So we've got about 90 minutes before the Froakie are out and about, hopping and doing their stuff with the bubbles, if I recall correctly. Something about bubbles? Yeah. Anyway, I'm your host, Chris. And as always, I'm joined by my co-host, Kyle.
Hiya.
Hey, Kyle. How you doing on this Sunday morning? Now it's afternoon.
I'm doing okay.
Oh, good. Yeah, I got like a little bit of like podcasting whiplash going on because we just recorded. The episode just came out not 2 days ago. So
it's been 4 days since we recorded. It's fine.
4 days since we recorded. I got the episode out on Friday night, Saturday, one of those two. And it just feels like we just talked because I listened to our conversations over again, right?
Yeah.
So, and wouldn't you know it, Kyle, we didn't get any like news drops or anything since we recorded 4 days ago. I know. Hard to believe. But I will say there were a couple of GBL PvP related articles that went up on the PokemonGoLive.com website, which is where all the blog posts are, if you're unfamiliar. And they're really quite good. They're written by people that know what they're talking about, and they give good advice and good overview of stuff. So if you're looking for some literature to work through on PvP and stuff like that, those are some great official sources. I'm serious. I'm not even joking. Like, it's pretty good. And that being said, we also had Worlds this weekend to watch. It ended this morning at like 2:30 a.m. Yes, I was up for it. Don't ask me why. Because I wanted to watch. I suppose that's an easy answer. But Mr. Kyle, did you watch any of the Worlds this weekend at all?
I didn't watch any of it.
Not for you.
None of it.
No. What if I told you could have watched it on YouTube so you could have avoided the whole Twitch ecosystem?
I mean, it's a mild improvement, but YouTube streaming's also kind of garbage.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I don't know. So I tried watching a bunch of it, right? Like I tried watching VGC and TCG and as well as Go, right? Go is the main thing I was watching for. And I'm like sitting here. I got the TCG finals on one screen. I'm playing Baldur's Gate with a couple of friends on the other screen. And I like look over and I look back at Baldur's Gate. And I look over at the stream and look back at Baldur's Gate. And I'm just like, I have no idea what's happening. I have zero concept of what's happening. There was a point in time this guy had like 8 energy cards attached to a Greninja. And I'm like, what is he doing with those energy cards? This is outrageous. I'm sure there's a simple answer if I had just read the card text, maybe, but they move so fast. It's hard. It's hard when you don't know exactly what's going on.
I don't understand the TCG at all. Not even. I mean, I understand the basic concept of like how you win, and that's it.
So they had like these cameras behind the players where they would show what they drew, because there's a lot of shuffling and card draw and discard in Pokemon TCG. And they were like, they knew the deck list and they knew the win conditions, right? And so like when somebody would pull their cards and see this camera pan and they're like looking through their cards in their hand and stuff, they like zoom in to see what was on the cards. And the casters would be like, and there's that one and that one and that one. And they would just get so hype about them pulling these cards. I couldn't stop watching because of that. It was something else, let me just say. But the Go finals were awesome, really, really well played, and fun to watch. So I would recommend, even if you're not a big PvP fan, go back and give that a watch because the production value is chef's kiss. Very, very good. But Mr. Kyle, we set some goals for ourselves.
We did.
Just, under a week ago. Let's visit those goals and how we did. You wanted to get some more mega progress. It's been your pet project for about a month now. How is that going?
It's going. I did probably more than I have in a little while, making sure to do the ones I have a lot of energy for. Like both my primals are almost done right now, so that's exciting.
Nice. Oh, very, very nice. 150,000 experience?
Yeah.
How much do you have left until 47?
Plus,
500K, 600K?
450.
450. With Froki Day, you'll probably be within spitting distance.
Maybe. Depends. I don't know how good I'm going to be at throwing at Froki, but we're going to see.
Are you going to throw a Lucky Egg on, even though it's not an XP-based event?
We're going to start without it, see how I'm doing. Because if I'm just throwing greats, I'm just like, I'm not going to waste my time.
Yeah.
I don't even know how many Lucky Eggs I have right now, but not enough for GoFest.
It is kind of probably more efficient to wait and see if you're in the sweet spot or not, Yeah. 3,100 Pokemon storage. Did you manage to get down?
I did.
What are you at?
I'm at like 3,100, 30, 80 or whatever. I stopped. I can go lower, but it actually will take work. And it's just so slow.
You sound like every guy in the limbo line. This is nothing. I could go lower.
I probably transferred 100 shinies.
Oh my gosh, you madman.
And I still have 1,200 shinies in my inventory.
Bro. So I haven't done a shiny number check in a minute.
But I had 30 shiny Lavatar. I got rid of 20 of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I had
not
60 shiny Swinub. I got rid of 40 of them.
You need those, man.
Yeah, I kept some of them.
They're watermelon. That's food waste.
Look, I transferred those one at a time because I didn't want to go change my settings that would let me mass transfer because I'm paranoid about that. So that took forever.
That's fair enough. Yeah, I have a lot of things that are just favorited because I was like, I should favorite this, and they are no longer worthy of.
I also transferred 75 legendaries, roughly. Wow. I had a ton of Kyogre and Groudon just sitting there. I went through the IVs and I'm like, all right, well, I might keep this one and keep this one, and then I don't need the rest of these.
At the different CP tiers, if it was weather boosted or not, I keep the best 3 of each. Has been my new thing. I keep 6 of each, which is super unnecessary, but I do it anyway. So my total shiny count right now is 2,456 out of 5,500 Pokemon I currently have.
That checks out. You've had so many days where you're just like, I got 35, and I'm like, why? Get rid of them. You don't need them.
I don't know. It's today. I mean, my spoilers. My goal for today is 30 again, because why not? That seems to be the sweet spot for me.
Jeez.
Also, can I just say, okay, look, Niantic, if you're listening, these sponsored gifts that you're not these sponsored gifts, but these gifts that you're giving me, Mega Rayquaza or gifts gearing up for GoFest New York, stop giving me Nat berries. Knock it off.
They're going in the garbage.
I don't want them. You're gonna help me gear up. I'm just like, oh, that's right. I got so many berries I gotta throw out. All right. Cool. So you did all of it. That was a full house for you, a royal flush.
Yep. I managed. It's a miracle.
Good job. For myself, clear out Pokemon storage. I did some, and then I undid some of that, and that didn't really work out. And I thought, for some reason, I had put restock Pokeballs again because I had failed it last week. I thought I paid it forward. And so I did a lot of stock runs this past week while I was out and about because I was traveling for work to and from the office several times and getting my sister from the airport and all that fun stuff. I got over 1,100 Pokeballs and stuff, and 300 Great Balls and 200 Ultra Balls. I did stock up, and that'll be good for Froki Day today, but not on my goals, unfortunately. So clear out Pokemon storage. No. Mega progress. Yes. I'm still working on my Tyranitar. Almost there. Walk 4 more routes. I did not get out to the park. Today is when I'm going to. So that did not happen. So I'm embarrassed to say this week, 1 out of 3 for me.
Wow.
And 3 out of 3 for Mr. Kyle. Also known as 1 for you mathematicians out there. So yeah, congratulations, Kyle. Maybe I'll just bring the belt with when we go to the airport on Tuesday, and you can wear it on the plane and just beam.
That sounds miserable. It's not enough space on the plane as is.
No, not. There's always room for a title champion belt. Always room. And before we get started here with the rest of the show, big shout out to our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate you very much. Very excited to meet a bunch of people in New York. Just friendly reminder that we are having meetups every day in the park, 2 of them, one at 11 a.m. and one at 3 p.m. And then on Saturday night, we are doing an outing starting at 8 p.m. for the first location, moving to a second location at 10 p.m. All those details can be found on our website, GOCastPodcast.com, on the New York City 2023 tab at the top. I think it's the second option next to home. So go ahead and check that out, and we'll see you there. Please bring your Cyndaquils. Please. Okay. Well, we would normally pass on over to the news, but there is no news to pass it to. So instead, we're just going to hop right into the express lane, and our first exit available is Gear Up. There we are.
So this week on Gear Up, we're going to talk about some lingo, some Pokemon Go lingo we tend to take for granted, and just kind of break it down a little bit. This is very quick and messy, not in extreme detail, just to kind of get an understanding of some terms that people use and some terms that they don't, but are fun to know anyways. First up, I talk about it every once in a while. We have breakpoint. And that is the level where a Pokemon will deal more damage, generally with a fast move, against a specific target. For example, it's used very frequently for PvP, but in PvE, a 15 attack IV Raikou's Thunder Shock fast move will deal 5 damage at level 31 against a Suicune raid boss. But if it was a level 30 Raikou, it would only deal 4 damage. So 31 is the break point for its damage there. And that's a big deal. That's, you're technically effectively doing what is that? 20% more damage, 25% more damage from one level power up.
It can make or break, especially if you're hitting with those fast moves like 20 times, 30 times in that exchange. And
it can be a huge deal in PvP, but the math behind it in PvP is so much more complicated.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, we have bulk. Talk about how bulky a Pokemon is. And that's really just the Pokemon's general staying power, usually a product of its HP and defense. We don't really talk about it in hard numbers because it's really just to give you a broad idea. Also takes into account its typing and what kind of resistances it has. That can help determine how bulky a Pokemon is overall. Next up, this one is used a lot, and it didn't occur to me that people might not know what it is, especially if they don't take part in a lot of other games, but counters. A counter is a Pokemon that is especially effective against a particular target. Nothing else fancy. If a Pokemon is a counter, it is probably the preferred choice to use against it in that scenario. Also, not to be confused with the fast move of the same name.
No.
Very different. But counter is a very good fast move.
It is very good. So generally speaking, good stuff.
Next up, we have DPS, stands for damage per second. Talk about this one a lot. I think I've broken it down several times, but it's always good to have refreshers. And DPS is the resulting calculation from a particular fast and charge move combination based on the move's duration and energy generation / cost. This is specifically in terms of PvE here. Again, as is everything on here, although it can have crossover with PvP. That said, talking about energy. Let's talk about energy next, because it occurred to me today, the game doesn't tell you about energy. No. There's no info about energy in the Pokemon Go app at all. The only thing we have is damage numbers and a vague bar next to your charge move to kind of give you an idea. So what is energy? Well, every fast move generates energy, and every charge move costs energy. And that's pretty much it. Use a fast move, you get energy. Use a charge move, you spend energy. And as I said, you can't find those numbers out in game. There are some general rules that are safe to go by. A 1 bar in game generally means 100 energy. A 3 bar in game generally means 33 energy. 2 bars where you get iffy, and it could be 50 energy, it could be 45, it could be 55.
And even the 3 bars sometimes they deviate a little bit, but
yeah. So it's always good to look it up if you want that information. But that's energy that the game should really tell you about.
Nah, they'll figure it out. It's fine.
It's a huge deal. If it does tell us about it, someone tell me, because I missed it apparently.
I don't think they've added like an onboarding for PvP.
Yeah, it's so so important. There's like turns and everything that's not on our list of lingo here. Oh man, I looked up a PvP lingo list and I'm like, hey, Fish and DeFi, here's an idea for a whole episode. Just talk about all of this.
I think you're like a mini series.
Yeah. Next up, we have IVs, stand for individual values. These are the stats that are shown when you go to the appraisal screen. You get the 3 bars. It's kind of vaguely, but the notches are very specific. You learn how to read it over time.
Yeah.
And each one is presented out of 15. And generally, we talk about it in terms of percentages. So a Pokemon with 15 attack, 14 HP, and 15 defense is a 98% because it has 44 out of 45 possible IV points. And then every time you take a point away, you go down about 2%. It's some rounding fun and stuff like that. That's the general idea, though. Hundo, obviously, 15, 15, 15. Nundo, playful way of saying 0, is 0, 0, 0. We talked about that last week. Found out we only had a couple in our inventory.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Next up is a lot harder to define, I think, and it's meta, also meta gaming. And what I've got here is particular strategies in the game done to maximize your performance. It's a very general idea. The meta is usually geared more towards PvP conversations, but it can have applications in PvE. As an example, Mewtwo is a very meta Pokemon, as it is always the best choice if it can be effective, if you need psychic type damage. Other than that, it's hard to kind of give solid answers. You know, Primal Kyogre is meta when it comes to water type, but it's not the be all end all because there can be other options depending on what moves are used and stuff like that. And in terms of PvP, meta usually refers to the most common and most successfully used Pokemon in any given league.
Yeah. Yep.
Next up, we have Stab. Stands for same type attack bonus. That's a 1.2 times damage multiplier to any attack that the attacking Pokemon shares a type with. So if Charizard uses a fire type move, bonus damage. Charizard uses a flying type move, bonus damage. Charizard uses a dragon type move, not bonus damage.
Well, Charizard X.
Charizard, Mega Charizard X.
Sorry. Excuse me. You're right.
Anyways. Lastly, here we have TDO, which stands for total damage output. And this is just the product of a Pokemon's DPS and its bulk. Generally, it's multiplied against each other, and the numbers can or can't be reliable. I feel like a lot of people have moved away from TDO overall. GamePress's website uses a new thing called effective rating that I'm not going to go into here, but TDO can give you a good general idea of how a Pokemon performs overall.
Yeah.
And that's it for today. There's a whole lot more that can be talked about, but I'm not going to get into any of the PvP stuff because I'm just going to look like a fool.
I mean, fair enough. It gets really quite complicated, but I mean, like, there are terms like sack swap and stuff like that most people kind of understand, or you could sort of assume what it means.
There's
right?
simple stuff as well, like leads.
Yeah.
And
anchors and
stuff like that.
Safe swaps. Yeah.
There is a lot of opportunities for some fun conversations there.
Sure. Maybe the next time we do our season, all four of us together episode, your gear up can be like a shared effort.
Okay. Oh, that's an idea.
That'd be fun. That'd be fun. Yeah. And I thought since we didn't have any news and since this is sort of a shorter gear up segment, I did see some questions in Discord and online. People are like, yeah, GoFest New York City's happening and I'm going. What do I have to care about again? Because we did sort of get like a drip feed of information about the event and stuff like that. So just really quick, I mean, we're not going to go through like specifics, but just very, very quickly, if you're in the park, there will be 4 different habitats. They're going to be on a map, and those habitats will have spawns, right? They're specific to them. Cool stuff. And then when you're in the city experience, you will have, a variety of spawns from all of those habitats happening throughout your city experience. You won't be able to target the habitats as much like you did with your park experience, but more or less, if you're looking for a particular Pokemon, that Pokemon will likely be available for you to also find during the city experience. So I thought, let's just give a couple of highlights for each of the habitats really quick, and that'll satisfy both camps of what do I care about park experience and what do I care about city experience. So the first biome is prehistoric volcano. And here you're going to find your Aerodactyl wearing a satchel. That's going to be a good shiny to hunt for. People will care about that. If you didn't get your Tyrant like I did not during Adventure Week, Tyrant will be in there as well for the shiny hunt. Kangaskhan as well if you need that regional. And then the rest of the spawns are just generally good. I think when we've talked about this in the past, prehistoric volcano has kind of been like a head above the rest as an interest. And I mean, the Sachadactyl definitely does it for me. Or Aerosatchel. Which one do we like better? Satchel Dactyl or Aerosatchel?
I think Aerosatchel.
Yeah, it's a good one. Aerosatchel. Okay. Next up is Poison Swamp. And in Poison Swamp, you're going to be finding Pawniard in the wild. Good opportunity to target shiny hunt that one, because otherwise you're hatching 12-kilometer eggs like me to no avail. I did get a hundo Pawniard this past week, though.
Oh, my gosh.
Finally. Something good. Or it was 2 weeks ago. Something like that. I forgot to share it. And then Tentacool, Venipede. Those are some other highlights. I know people... Oh, Skorupi. How can I forget Skorupi? Cursed Treasures is the next one. And this one's all about Ghastly. I'm just kidding. Ghastly is in the pool, though. But, Golett is a new shiny. You're going to want to hunt there. Chimecho for the extra dust. Snorlax shiny hunting is always fun. Yamask is relatively rare. And Durant, if you don't normally have access to it. And Athletic Field, don't go to Athletic Field. I'm just kidding. No, there's actually a couple of good ones in Athletic Field, including and almost limited to Lucario.
Yeah, no, it is really just limited. It would have been kind of cool if they'd brought Sock back with Sock and Throw.
Yeah.
That would have probably given Athletic Field kind of the boost it needed.
True. But, catching fully evolved Lucario in the wild is going to be great.
Oh, yes, but I hope they adjusted the catch rate, because that's probably going to be miserable.
Yeah, I'm hoping they just made the catch rate for all these Pokemon pretty low, or pretty easier to catch.
Also, Sigilife spawning everywhere.
Oh yeah, Sigilife
that's worth noting. It's not a biome specific, but that's the call out.
Yep, Sigilife is there all over the place. So is that Pikachu wearing an amethyst crown, and then the unknown that are spawning everywhere. ADIMNO and exclamation point. Exclamation point is a big deal. So
I think I need that. N. I think that's what I'm excited about for these unknowns.
Yeah, which means I need it too. So great.
Well, it's just even more inventory garbage. I have so many unknown in my inventory that I just can't get rid of.
Yeah, me too. I've got like 3 of each letter, and I'm like, I don't want to bring this down anymore.
Oh, not the N. I need the M.
Okay.
So I'm missing the M.
We'll hunt that together, and if only one of us gets it, we'll trade it for the dex entry. But yeah, there you go. There's a little pick me up for what to expect for GoFest New York heading into that event weekend. But thank you very much, Mr. Kyle, for a great Gear Up segment. And that means we're going to go over to Pokelore next. And this week for Pokelore, we're going to be covering, for no particular reason other than it was sort of relevant to PvP this past weekend, Chinchou, the Angler Pokemon, and Lantern, the Light Pokemon. I do believe we've actually covered this in the past, but we were struggling to choose a Pokemon. We were like, do we do Froakie? No, we just did that. Do we do Diancie and Carmi? No, we just did that. Here we go, Chinchou. Chinchou is a small Piscine Pokemon with a round blue body. It has large yellow eyes with pupils shaped like plus signs, a pair of semi-transparent light blue pectoral fins, and stubby feet. Positioned on Chinchou's rear, where its tail would be, are a pair of antennae that curve up and over its head. The antennae developed from fins and have yellow teardrop-shaped orbs at the tips. Inside Chinchou's antenna are electricity-generating cells. They create so much electrical power that they even make Chinchou tingle slightly, like a caffeine buzz. The orbs on its antenna can grow and light up from the electric current, which Chinchou uses to lure prey. It also flashes its light to communicate with others of its kind and claim territory. By discharging positive and negative electricity from the antenna, it can both defend itself and stun its prey. Chinchou live on dark ocean floors, rarely ever coming up to the surface. However, it has demonstrated the ability to walk on land in the anime. It's little feet. Next up is Lantern. Lantern is a blue Piscine Pokemon that resembles an anglerfish. That's so funny. Chinchou's the angler Pokemon. Lantern resembles an anglerfish, but is then turned to the light Pokemon. Localization light, team, we just want to talk. It has big red eyes with a yellow mask-like marking around them and small light blue pectoral fins. The lower half of its tail fin is yellow and has jagged edges. On its back is a Y-shaped antenna with a spherical orb at each tip. This antenna is a modification of its dorsal fin. Inside its orbs are bacteria that produce light by absorbing Lantern's bodily fluids. It lures prey using the glow, then blinds them by using an intense flash before it swallows them whole. The flash it creates is visible on the surface from a depth of over 3 miles or 5 kilometers. This has earned it the nickname the Deep Sea Star. Lantern competes with Luminion when catching its prey, Starmie. Frillish and Sharpedo are natural predators of Lantern. Lantern inhabits the depths of the ocean. Whenever they talk about like the predator and prey stuff with the water Pokemon, it really makes the Pokemon oceans sound like a terrifying place, which is fine. Ocean is a scary place.
Could you imagine an ocean with Sharpedos just flying around at the speed of sound?
No. When they were chasing after me in Sword and Shield, was it Sword and Shield, Scarlet and Violet? The ones where they can like chase you. That made me freak out. I can't imagine that in real life.
Yeah, no, thank you.
No.
Pokemon's a scary world.
It is. I mean, Slugma on its own. I mean, my goodness,
just melts everything within a 10-mile radius.
Oh yeah. Stats for Lantern: max CP at 40 is 2085, and at 50 it's 2357. 268 stamina, 137 defense, and 146 attack. Super high stamina. That's so thick. My goodness. And the best moveset is going to be Spark or Water Gun if you want to justify it that way. And then with Surf and Thunderbolt, although I believe the ones we were seeing at the World Championship Series this past weekend, they all had Spark on them. So, do with that information what you will. So, yeah, there's that. That's Chinchou and Lantern. Hope that you learn something about them. I mean, I know we've read these before, but I kind of forgot a couple of things. Again, the Predator and Prey stuff is just so strange. Poor Starmie. Luminion catches its prey, Starmie as well. That's weird. I didn't know Luminion would eat Starmie.
I don't know. How is Frillish eating Lantern?
Oh, yeah.
At least like Sharpedo makes sense.
Yeah, it does. But the thing is, like, Lantern is electric type though too. So like that seems like a losing battle.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, that's it for Pokelore. That means we're already, oh my gosh, the time is flying on this episode. We're already in the Pokepole section.
For last week's Pokepole we had, what has been your luckiest and unluckiest moments in Pokemon Go? First response is from Uneven Way. They said, I'm semi-new, so my luckiest is either when I caught a shiny Shroomish and then a few minutes later caught a shiny Aerodactyl. It's pretty lucky. But it also could have been when I got shiny Sunglasses Squirtle and then had another shiny on the next wild encounter. Oh, I'm still jealous of shiny Sunglasses Squirtles. Oh my gosh.
They're great.
My unluckiest is when I had a Galarian Articuno fled. I feel that. I definitely do feel that.
Well, at least rest assured you're not alone. They're running from everybody out here.
Next response is from Nine Thistles. And they said, my luckiest was when I caught/hatched 3 Hundos on the same day within a few hours of each other. A Turtwig, a Cyndaquil, and a Carvana. My unluckiest was when I transferred my Hundo Glasses Squirtle. Still hurts. I thought I knew which one she was and did a mass transfer. Needless to say, I label all my Mons immediately now.
Yep.
Oh no, that's tragic.
That feels bad.
That's tragic.
Yeah. Oh my.
Next one from Fire Drillin'. He said, my first ever 5-star raid was a Kyogre during the 2018 Water Festival. I got a Hundo and didn't know what it meant until someone told me that was the best possible CP. Back in the days of the cryptic IV checking text. Oh God.
Yeah, where they just gave us like hints, like word problems.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a logic puzzle you had to solve.
Right.
I didn't get a shiny Ralts during its community day until I got my only one 3 minutes to the end, playing and grinding the full 3 hours. Okay, yeah, that might be one of the most unluckiest things out there. That's
that's like record breaking. Unlucky.
Our last one comes in the form of an email from Dope Dude 858. They said, hello, gents. Dope Dude 858 here to answer the Pokepole. My luckiest moment in Pogo was my Shundo Drifblim caught on my last Pokeball.
Oh, nice.
This was back in the good old days where I used daily adventures to get Pokeballs. My unluckiest moment is when I had a shiny Mega Gyarados run from me. Also, my only Nundo is a Ducklet that I named Defy.
Aww.
Shundo luck for all, and good luck getting that shiny unknown! ! Sorry for the short email, Dope Dude 858.
How dare you with the short email? We only accept long emails around these parts.
Only long emails.
Uh-huh. That's right.
Okay. All right. So for this week's Pokepole, we have, you've been asked to join your local Pokemon League as a gym leader. What type would you specialize in, and who would be your ace? Bonus points for other members of your Pokemon team.
I know somebody's asked us this question via email before, but now I think it's time for everybody to give an answer.
Yep, that's fair. Do you want to give an answer that's uncommon, or do you want to let our answers stand?
I mean, I don't remember what I said, so I'm just going to go through the process once more. Okay. I'm going to be a bug type gym leader, probably the first gym, let's be honest.
Yeah, first or second, maybe. You could do second.
Yeah. But then you're going to be like, man, this guy's got a Caesar as his ace. What's going on here?
It doesn't know any moves, though.
It doesn't know any moves. All it knows is Bullet Punch, and that's it. That's it. So, yeah, Caesar would be my ace. I would also have Cleavor on my team. And I would also have a Scyther on my team because that's going to be my thing. That's going to be my thing. And then if I'm an early gym, I probably would only have 3 Pokemon, so that would fit. But if I had to fill out the rest of the team, I would probably have I can never remember the name of it's not Charge-a-Bug. It evolves from Charge-a-Bug. Huh?
Vikavolt.
Vikavolt. Thank you. Vikavolt for sure for some good coverage. Volcarona if I could manage it, but if I'm, it's going to be like what level 17? I don't think that's going to happen.
Get at level 17 Volcarona. It can be illegal. It's an NPC Pokemon.
That's true. If not, then just a Larvesta at the very least. And then I think lastly, like Heracross, because you gotta.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Kyle? Ghost type and Gengar is your ace, and
yes, but I guess it depends on the generation you're in, because Gengar as the ace is great, especially if you can Gigantamax or Mega Evolve. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But if we're talking Scarlet and Violet, he probably wouldn't be the one to terrestrialize. I don't know how the meta in Scarlet and Violet works, not gonna lie. I'd also have Aegislash, because Aegislash is a beast. Oh man, so we gotta do 5, right?
Yeah, at least. Because I'd imagine the ghost type gym leader would be later in the game, so you'd probably have a much more full team.
Probably like the 6th gym. Although I think it was the 7th gym in Scarlet and Violet.
I mean, Agatha was a Elite Four member.
Yeah.
So,
but even Elite Four only has 5.
Yeah.
Depending on what game you're playing.
I never got that. I was like, come on, guys. Let's play by the rules here.
Probably like a Trevenant as well.
Ooh.
I always think like Trevenant or Delmise, but Delmise is just so slow. It is supposed to be on a Trick Room team or something.
Yeah.
So definitely Trevenant. And then if I'm on the Elite Four, I want to have Giratina. If I'm not on the Elite Four, no, but Elite Four with the legendary Pokemon is too good. Giratina
or Giratino?
Well, if we're a gym leader, it technically changes. So I think it would be Giratina because we're in the real world.
Yeah.
And then Spiritomb, because I love that Ghost Dark typing.
Yeah.
Spiritomb or Sableye? Spiritomb.
Spiritomb.
So that's 5.
Yeah.
That's 4.
5.
Gengar, Aegislash, Giratina, Spiritomb.
Oh, and you said not Delmise. Oh, Trevenant.
Trevenant. Okay, those 5. Yeah, I'm going to go with 5. 5 is a safe number. I'm not a champion, so.
I'm going to say you could run Delmise on your team if you had put a Mimikyu that knew Trick Room.
Yeah, I do, but like Gengar is so fast. And
it is so
Aegislash is not exactly slow, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, but it's your ace, right? If you get to your ace, it's likely that the Trick Room strat has failed, right?
True,
so it's probably over by
also,
that point.
I love Mimikyu. Mimikyu's so good. I might lead with Mimikyu if we want. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But those are my answers for now.
Okay, great. Well, I'm interested to hear what everybody else has to say. So if you, dear listener, have an answer to this week's Pokeball question, which was, once again, you've been asked to join your local Pokemon League as a gym leader. Congratulations on that, by the way. What a prestigious honor. What type would you specialize in, and who would be your ace? Bonus points for other members of your Pokemon team. You can answer that question when we post it on Twitter/X/whatever that is, at GOCast Podcast. If you are a patron of ours in our Discord server, we have a Pokepoll channel dedicated to it. You can also answer the question via the Spotify mobile app if that is where you're listening. You can also respond via comment on the YouTube video. Yes, there is going to be a video version of it. I have fixed all of the video-related issues I had the last few episodes. This most recent episode there's no hitching, there's no freezing. We're back. We're back. And then, of course, you can email us to mail@gocastpodcast.com or leave us a voicemail with your answer to 262-586-7717. And speaking of emails and voicemails, Mr. Kyle, it seems so early, but can you remind me where we're at?
It's time for emails.
Perfect. And no voicemails because it's only been a couple of days.
Also, we're 40 minutes in, roughly. It's not that early for emails.
That's true. Sometimes the email section takes the lion's share, depending. Yeah. And we definitely do have a couple of lengthy emails here. So let's get started. The first one is from Lemmy LeBeau. Hey, Niantic or Pokemon Game Company, give us Shadow Eevee, you cowards. I emailed a while ago about this to you all. Just figured it's time to give Niantic a reminder. Also, I'll be in New York for GoFest. Hope to meet you all in person. Thanks, Remy LeBeau 47. Yes, please come to our meetups. We'd love to meet you.
Yeah,
and that's where we'll be. So, yep.
Also, maybe controversial opinion. I don't actually know how people feel. We will never get Shadow Eevee. We will never get Shadow Pikachu. Not going to happen.
Probably not.
It would be amazing. It would be great. It'd be such a hunt for so many people. I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Can you imagine a rocket? There is so much potential. If they could, there's so much potential for Eevee and Evolution Rocket takeover events. It would be incredible.
Yeah.
You know, and shiny hunting and all that sort of stuff. They could put them in 3-star shadow raids too and make that tier that much more interesting. There's a bunch of stuff. You're right. But do you care to sort of expand a little bit? Because I know we say these things and sometimes we explain them, but can you explain why your position is that they will never do that for Eevee or Pikachu?
They're just too much of a flagship. Like it is the Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Pikachu and Eevee are they're sort of untouchable in that regard in terms of, untouchable is the wrong word. They're uncorruptible, I think, in the Pokemon Company's eyes, because it is so important to the branding.
Yeah. Yeah, even clone Pikachu, which is like the furthest that Pikachu has really kind of gone out form-wise, turned out to be a good guy at the end of that whole exchange, you know?
Yeah. And when we got our clone Pokemon, we did not get a clone Pikachu. Just,
no.
There was a great opportunity. Did not happen.
And, people at home might be going, well, Mewtwo is kind of like a flagship Pokemon. Why was Mewtwo Shadow? Why were the legendary bird Shadow? It's because they're kind of canon. If you look at the movies and the anime and, Colosseum and stuff like that, like there are shadow versions of those Pokemon that already exist in Pokemon lore at large.
Also for a distinction, because there's a Charizard, for example, that is shadow, but Charizard is like a flagship Pokemon. But Pikachu and Eevee are like the brand of Pokemon. Yes. Yeah. Like you think of Pokemon, anybody who doesn't play Pokemon thinks of Pikachu. And they also can think of Eevee because Eevee is in a lot of promotions. Eevee's very cute. A lot of people just like Eevee.
It's a good pairing with Pikachu because of the color difference when they're juxtaposed next to each other. And one's on 2 legs, one's on 4 legs. They have a lot of flexibility when they use those two for marketing stuff.
Yeah.
That said, Kyle, if we did see a Shadow Eevee or Shadow Pikachu, would you then assume we'd probably get the other one?
No. I think Shadow Eevee is more likely than Shadow Pikachu, though.
Okay.
This is fair.
I would agree.
I think you could make a crossover. You could make a connection that could then make an argument that Shadow Eevee could exist. I don't see a world where Shadow Pikachu exists.
Oh, we need a Shadow Baby event is what we need.
That sounds awful.
That sounds amazing. I mean, lore-wise, that sounds awful. But
yeah, everything that comes out of a 12K egg is now Shadow.
Ooh. Oh. Okay. I'm into that.
That way we can finally move away from the poison and dark restrictions that it has.
Nah. I'm that Pawniard, that Hundo Pawniard I got has revigorated my love of 12K eggs. No. So it'll be another 6 months before I get anything good out of them. But anyway, thank you very much, Remy, for the email. Appreciate it.
Next email is from Harry. They said, to GOCast, I'm a new Pokemon Go trainer, and I have heard a lot of talk about the Pokemon Go Plus, and I have no idea whatsoever what it is. So I'm asking you to tell me what Pokemon Go Plus is. Thank you for your amazing podcast. I enjoy it so much. Shiny vibes to you all. Harry, cool pair Pokemon trainer. Pokemon Go Plus. Well, if we're talking about the original device, it was a device that they released very early in the game cycle that you could connect to the game, and you could set it to either detect Pokestops or Pokemon or both. And when it did, the device would buzz and you could hit a button and it would attempt to catch and or spin the stop. Plain and simple. Only use a Pokeball, only use a simple throw. It's like a 60% chance of catching a standard Pokemon or something like that. Not good.
Super rudimentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we had the Pokeball Plus, which was a controller for the Nintendo Switch intended as a crossover for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee that could also serve the exact same functionalities as a Go Plus. I don't believe there's any difference, except if you put a Pokemon, you could transfer a Pokemon from Let's Go Eevee or Pikachu into the Pokeball Plus, and you'd earn like experience for walking like a pedometer and stuff like that. But it would also automatically spin nearby stops, so you wouldn't have to push a button.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, those Pokeball Pluses came preloaded with a Mew.
Yeah.
So even if you did not have Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, you could still benefit from the auto spinning.
Just keep the Mew in there and torture it forever.
Forever. Yeah. And then eventually when you buy that game 10 years from now and it's like, you've walked 300,000 miles.
Lastly, we just got the new Pokemon Go Plus, which is a horrendous name. And its intended function is to connect with Pokemon Sleep in order to be used as a sleep tracking tool. It's not a very good sleep tracking tool. Don't buy it with that purpose. But it does the same functionalities as the Pokemon Go Plus, with the added functionality of also being able to use Great and Ultra Balls to catch Pokemon. And if you're only using Pokeballs, you can have it automatically attempt to catch a Pokemon that it detects without you having to give an input to the button. I don't think I missed anything. Did I miss anything?
No, that's right. The part that I was most impressed with is that you remembered all of the nuances for the Ball Plus.
Never used it. I mean, I used it for Go,
yeah.
But yeah.
No, you never used it for Let's Go ever?
I don't think I did. I think when I played through Let's Go, we hadn't gotten the like last batch of the Ball Pluses or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
The game's not gelling with me right now. I don't know. Maybe I'll come back.
Yeah, those games were really simplified, but I loved them. They were fun.
Do highly recommend the Plus if you can afford it and you enjoy Go. It is a good investment, but it is expensive. There's no argument there that it is a very expensive peripheral.
It is. It's even more expensive than the Ball Plus was, and the Ball Plus was a Wiimote, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
So, yep. There's that. I hope that answers your question there, Harry.
The next email is from George. They said, "Hello, guys. I won't lie to you. I'm a new listener, but I'm amazed with the great work you are doing. Keep up the good job." Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm actually from Greece, so sorry for any grammatical errors or anything. I wanted to share a story with you from GoFest 2022 as part of the Pokeball Luckiest Moment. I know I'm an episode late, but whatever. You're just on time.
Yeah.
It is a story about how I got my first shiny legendary. I was walking around with my best friend doing some quest and had gotten the GoFest medal. We really wanted a Latios to spawn, and it did, but I lost it. After that, I was super sad, and time passed, and nothing spawned, not even on the nearby.
Oh.
There were 15 more minutes for the event to end, and I see a Latios on the nearby, but it was pretty far away. We started sprinting, and finally got there and found out my wild Latios was a shiny. Best moment ever. That's it, guys. I know it's long, and I understand if you don't read it all, but I would love for my story to go on the next episode.
Well, there you go.
Keep up the good job and the great Pokemon podcast. Yours, George. Well, that's fantastic. I love this. The sprinting to the end stories are always the best.
Yeah. Oh,
also,
my gosh.
Could the shiny Latias run? They couldn't, right? Because they're technically legendary.
I thought they could.
They could? Okay, well, then this went from the luckiest. This could have gone from the luckiest to the unluckiest story. So congratulations, even more.
Yeah, I don't remember one way or the other. Oh my gosh.
I actually can't either. Somebody will correct us for 2 weeks from now, probably.
We didn't make a claim. We said we think it's this, but we're not sure.
Yeah.
We're safe. Liability, we're good. So yeah, no, that's awesome. Mr. Kyle, have you ever ran for a Pokemon before in Pokemon Go?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Yes,
have you ever ran for something in Pokemon Go that wasn't a wild spawn?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I think the only time I did was the Articuno raid day. The first Articuno raid day. Leaping over headstones and fences and stuff. It was a good time. Well, it wasn't over headstones. It was between them.
Like him break an ankle.
Yeah, well, I got another one. It's fine. All right, well, thank you very much, George. Appreciate the email. And now we've arrived at this 9 Thistles email. And we'll be here for a minute. Hello, GOCasters. 9 Thistles here, longtime listener and very infrequent emailer. I had some thoughts I wanted to share about GoFest, among other things. You might already be heading to New York, but I hope you all stay safe and have fun. Stay hydrated. You bet. I got my neck fan in the mail, and I am so ready to look like somebody's dad. First, though, thank you for the podcast and all the effort you guys put into each week. I work as a trail maintainer, meaning I basically hike for a living. Because of our small department, I'm often flying solo. In remote places, I listen to podcasts on my portable speakers to ward off wildlife. I don't actually know if it works, but it makes me feel better. I mean, that's good enough, right? And when I'm working on popular trails, I need a Pokemon Go podcast to listen to. And you guys are the first one I turn to. I will admit my favorite episodes are the ones of y'all covering Legends Arceus and Scarlet and Violet, so sometimes I re-download those episodes for the days I know I'll need a pick-me-up. Well, the DLC is on the horizon. I imagine we will do one for each of those, so there's more a-coming. Also, I want to share a quick little fact about my gameplay, because it makes me laugh whenever y'all talk about Pokemon inventory. My inventory space is 1,700. Yeah. You read that right. I have a friend with a mere 550 spaces, which I think is just bonkers.
Oh my God.
That is bonkers. I try to only buy inventory space on those very rare occasions when Niantic gives us a 2-for-1 deal. We haven't had one in a while though, so I'll probably break my own rule and buy up to 2,000 right before GoFest. A nice even number. Do respect the nice even number deal. Like, yes. Do what you got to do.
When they leave us at 50, I feel real annoyed.
Oh, yeah, that's awful. That's awful. Speaking of GoFest, I have an answer for the Pokeball from episode 246. I have only gone to Global Fest, though it's on my bucket list to get to an in-person fest one of these days. This year, I'm going to temper my expectations of a large shiny haul, as I have never had more than a handful of shinies in the fests I've participated in, and will instead focus on hatching eggs, collecting Stardust, and hunting perfects. Yes, eggs. I already have a list of the ones to hunt from each habitat, and will probably only shiny check the rest to save on Pokeballs. My item storage is also very low, so I need to be careful lest I become forced to buy Pokeballs. Join the dark side. It hurts my collector's heart to not catch everything on screen, but I gotta prioritize. I'll take a screenshot of my Stardust before and after the event to see what I get, my goal being to break 3 million. Currently, as I'm writing this, I have 2,300,000 some odd. If I somehow manage to get to 3 million during Froakie Day, I'll up it to 3.5 million. I don't have a number goal in mind for the amount of eggs I want to hatch, just that I want to hatch a lot. I still don't have a Larvesta, which is a crime. Kyle, I hatched a second Larvesta 2 days ago. It happened. Anyway, so that's my main goal for hatching eggs. My last goal is to get enough Mega Energy to evolve my Hundo Rayquaza.
All these Hundo Rayquazas.
Yeah, dude, everybody's got one. You don't have one yet?
No, I don't have one.
And I know for a fact you've raided your brains out.
I have done a fair amount of Rayquaza.
Yeah. It'd be nice to get its shiny form too, but I'm not holding my breath. I seem to have terrible luck with shiny Rayquaza specifically. I live in a relatively small town, which I never thought of as being rural, but according to Go, it is. Thankfully, a lot of folks have gone through the trouble of creating varied Pokestop gym dense parks that we can all play at. I'm also thankful that my local community is still so active. Before COVID, we even used to meet up for potlucks before each community day. Yeah, we used to do that for raid hour. We would go get some folding chairs and go sit in a park. That's the best stuff. I love that. During Fest, it is always nice to see the turnout with both familiar faces and newcomers. It's incredible how much this game has brought us together in this way. So many of the trainers I know are much older than me who started playing as a way to hang out with their kids or grandkids, or because they use it as a fun fitness app. Moving along to the next topic, I wanted to talk about routes. I was going to complain, but many others have voiced my exact opinion already. So I'll talk about what I'm looking forward to when I can finally make them myself. We have a very extensive trail system in and around town, many of which already have Pokestops at the entrances. I'll have to do some scouting to make sure there's another Pokestop I can stop at, otherwise I may have to give Wayfarer a try. I have worked on maybe 70% of the trails in the county, and there are many I want to show off. I live in a very dynamic landscape full of canyons and mountains alike, with lots of breathtaking views. This is such a foreign concept to us in Illinois.
Yeah, right. Mountains? What are those?
Excuse me? Do you mean a big old hill? I imagine the route system will be more popular in town, but when you can hike to an overlook that lets you see the town and the entire valley all the way to the neighboring mountain range, why wouldn't you? Good question. That sounds beautiful. And you might as well get a bit of the game bonus while you're at it. I also want to put in some of my dog's favorite walking routes. He's 17 now and can't walk outside due to sight loss, but I still walk him. That's adorable. To be honest, I was very excited about routes before I even knew about the Z-Cell system. I rushed out of work to a trail near my house, thinking that I'd have to beat other trainers there. Needless to say, my disappointment bordered on frustration when I realized Niantic hadn't warned us that not all trainers would be able to make routes. Major bummer. I still can't make any, and I've only seen one in town. I'll try it out this weekend when I have an hour to spare. I hope they get it all sorted out, even if it takes them a while. I'd rather wait for a fully realized system than play with something already broken. Yeah, that's a good sentiment. Yeah. Last topic I want to touch on is tips for beginner trainers, inspired by trainers in my local channel. Mainly labeling Pokemon. I'm not talking about tags, just naming Pokemon something that makes sense to you. For example, I name all of my gym defenders Zote, so I can quickly sort by name and choose the one on top. I also name all of my raid fighters after their moves and how quick the charge moves are. For example, a Gyarados with Bite and Outrage is labeled Dark Dragon Q equals Dark Dragon Quick Charge. Sorry, it's DRK DGN Q, and that equals Dark Dragon Quick Charge. That way I can tell at a glance what my team is packing and if I need to switch some around. Making raid parties and PvP teams, if you're into that, before heading out is a good time saver. Sometimes it takes a little extra homework, but knowing what Pokemon to bring can save you from a frustrating time. I've heard trainers in raid parties say, I thought this was my favorite rock move, Tyranitar, or something similar.
That's me.
It does take a bit of housekeeping, but spending some time organizing during downtime can really pay off. A quick brag before I end the email. I hatched a second Hundo Wimpod the other day. I named him Rift after the Rift Herald from League of Legends. Nice. Scuttle. My only problem is I only just managed to evolve my first one. Never mind, level it up. I'm going to be walking these critters until the heat death of the universe. To end the email, I have a scenario for you. I do apologize. It's been asked before, or if it's been asked before. Something happened between Niantic and the Pokemon Company. A bribe? Triple Dog Dare? No one knows for sure how or why it happened, but they have released a mythical community day. There is a 5 Pokemon spawn pool for this community day, centered around a theme. The mythical Pokemon and the catch rate is on par with the Galarian Trio catch rates. Is this a balanced event? Don't worry about it. My question to you is, which mythical besides Mew are we encountering? It can be any previously released mythical or one we haven't seen yet. Bonus points if you give an avatar item. And then they have their own answer. I'm going to read that too. While I would like another chance at Shaman, it's one of my favorite mythicals. For my answer, I'm going with Marshadow. The map and sky would be a dark twilight with strange shadows occasionally speeding across the ground, and the Pokestops glowing like flickering lanterns to guide the way. The sun would be just over the horizon with enough light to make your shadow really long. Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Every so often, your avatar's shadow would have glowing eyes that blink a couple times before disappearing. The spawns would be Duskull, Yamask, both forms, Litwick, Phantump, and Mimikyu with Darkrai and 5-star raids. We could even get a hat that looks like Marshadow's Zenith form, or perhaps a pair of glasses that looks like Marshadow's flaming eyes, or both. The event would also give trainers a masterwork research. So everyone is guaranteed one Marshadow. I decided to go with that Pokemon that, in my opinion, had the spookiest Pokedex entries. I thought about incorporating some fighting types, but a Mon that sneaks into your shadow to learn more about you is just too spooky not to make it a Halloween-esque event. While I would like costume Pokemon in raids, I couldn't think of any at the time of writing, so let's just say the rest of the raids are to be announced. Looking forward to your thoughts, and not at all sorry for the deliberately long length of this email. May the shiny vibes be ever in your favor. 9 Thistles. Okay, so last question here, Kyle, is this mythical. What mythical community day would you have?
That Marshall has a really good answer, by the way.
Yeah.
I think Zarude.
Ooh, okay.
Because we only got one.
We did.
And people want more. And it'd be fun. You could definitely do some kind of jungle theme there. Depending on how you wanted to lean into it, you could do like, not a very exciting, but Oranguru and Passimian. It's slightly on topic there. For some of your monkey jungle theme there.
Yeah.
Maybe Mankey or Primeape, stuff like that. So that's my answer there.
You can have Turtwig in your spawn pool too.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so for me, Genesect Community Day.
Okay.
Because I think it'd be cool for like all the different drive types to be rotating around in raids and stuff throughout. That'd be pretty sweet. And the spawn pools would be a mixture of bug and steel type Pokemon. So you'd probably see like Ferroseed, you would see Scyther, and stuff like that. I'd be interested in that. But, like, are we still missing a drive? I'm not sure if we are. I don't think so.
No, I think we've gotten 4 drives. I don't remember if Genesect has more, but I think that's all we're getting.
Yeah, so it'd be great to have them all just sort of available so people could play catch up if they missed it and things like that. I think that would be really
there
really
are 4 drives. That is.
Yeah. Perfect. Cool. And then like some sort of research where it gives you a good IV one or something, and they're all shiny eligible already, so that'd be a perfect candidate for a community day blowout, in my opinion. But that's it. Thank you so much for the email, 9 Thistles. Great question and great feedback and insight on other parts. I hope that the routes situation clears up for you, because it sounds like you are the most qualified person to be making them in your community. So you should have that tool. Yeah. But if you, dear listener, would like to send us an email just like these fine folks did, you can by sending it to mail@gocastpodcast.com. You can also call and leave us a voicemail at 262-586-7717. You can also visit our website for all things GoCast Podcast, or for the details about our meetups during New York Go Fest weekend, this upcoming weekend, at gocastpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter /X/whatever at GoCast Podcast. If you'd like to help support the show monetarily, you can do so for as little as $1 a month at patreon.com/GoCast Podcast. That's patreon.com/GoCast Podcast. And speaking of patrons, shout out to our elite trainer tier patrons. Thank you to Bo, Daniel, Lori, Michael, Ozzy, Arkham, Marvin and Mimi, Sforza, Rasui and Ryan, Thayer, Jason, Justin, Charles, Modders, Lee, William, Brandon, Ethan, Stephen, Nick, Kelvin, our favorite listener, Drew 2, Camo, The Ugly Rock, Jacob, and Victoria. Thank you so much for your generous support and for helping us keep the digital lights on. And if you'd like to help support the show non-monetarily or in addition to your patron pledge, you can do so in a very helpful way, and it's by leaving a review. And since the last time I checked reviews, we've gotten 3 new ones. So thank you very much to these 3 people. This one is from Marianne D. Harrison, and they said, started listening a couple of weeks ago. I'm really enjoying this podcast on Pokemon Go. I appreciate that they explain things and don't assume the listener is savvy in all areas of the game. I'm at level 50 for almost 2.5 years and learned something. Wow. Fast gifting? Great banter, lighthearted, and informative. Yeah, fast gifting is great. It's also the bane of my existence because it means I have no good excuse anymore for not gifting.
My excuse is the UI is still bad.
You know what? I might borrow that. It's pretty good.
Just let me open the gift. Stop wasting my time.
I will say though, like during the Adventure Week thing, when I would sit through the gift animation because it felt quicker than I need one more 7-kilometer egg to back out. Oh, man.
That said, when gifts are guaranteed from stops for events, sending gifts is far more tolerable for me. And then you also can usually hold more gifts at the same time.
Yeah.
interacting with the gift system with the current limitations is very frustrating.
It definitely is. Yeah, I don't know. And I don't think it's going to improve. I think it works just fine. But
it's
the
very
eggs.
Pokemon. Just go look at Pokemon Sleep and how many unnecessary animations they have there.
It'd be great if, like, when you're done with it, it popped up stuff on the right, like when you finish anything else. You know, like, oh, I got a 7-kilometer egg. Great. Anyway.
Yep.
This next one is from Finn44, and they said, I really love to listen to your show. I've been listening for a year now, and absolutely love it because of your show. I have got back into Pogo and even went to GOFest last year. I can't make it to New York, but hope you gents love it. And my best Pokemon is a 98% shiny Regice I got from the Go Tour Hoenn. Nice. Love the show. Sorry for the long review and shiny vibes all from Finn. 98% shiny Regice is sick. That's awesome. And thank you for the review. And this last one is from Marky Mark. I don't believe it's the one from Incense. I don't think
Mark Wahlberg listens to our podcast.
Not that either. No. Hello, my friends. I just wanted to give a PSA based on a recent episode. I am level 44, almost 45. And before the episode, you talked about quick catching. I did not know about it. So I think you should bring it up more often, maybe monthly.
Fair.
That's a good one. Yeah. Sorry for the short email. Quick catch vibes. P.S. Look forward to seeing you at GoFest New York. Oh, yeah. We'll see you there. Thanks for the review. And please feel free to leave one of your own, dear listener. Lastly, but not least, Kyle, we've got to set some goals. And I set my goals earlier before we started the show, and I neglected to realize that not only is Froakie Community Day happening in 25 minutes, but we're also going to be going to New York GoFest.
Yeah, we're going to be going to New York before, in between when we record next.
Yeah.
Oh, I have another goal. Go ahead, yours. I think I can come up with
Oh, okay. I was just about to say the same thing to you, but I figured it out. All right. So I want to catch 30 shiny Froakie. Like I said, no spoilers there. 250,000 Stardust. At the very least, I think that's going to be just from Community Day. I'm not going to set a Stardust goal for GoFest because I'm setting an egg goal for GoFest. Finish 4 more routes. I'm hoping that it's a feature that we can probably do at GoFest. Otherwise, I'd like to get them done before I even leave. A shiny arrow satchel because of course, and I would like to hatch 300 eggs over the weekend. All right. And
eggs. God.
And take pictures with everyone. That's my last goal. Take pictures with everybody.
All right. So I've got 20 shiny Froakie and 200k Stardust. Continue my mega progress. Do some buddy progress. I'm currently working on my Hundo Alolan Marowak. It's like Great Buddy or something. I don't even know, honestly. I want a shiny Unknown. Any of them. I also need Unknown M, but I'm assuming that's a surefire, so it's not a goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a shiny Golett.
Ooh.
That's my one like shiny goal. At GoFest, I want shiny Golett.
Okay.
And I also would like to get shiny Arrow Satchel. It's not as important to me, but it's still really good.
It's so cool.
And then 5k stops for my Backpacker medal. I'm at 35,809. I guess I should write that down, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Otherwise it'd be like, I don't remember. Oh, don't forget level 47, dude.
But no, again, that should be guaranteed, so I'm not going to put it down.
You'd be surprised.
No, it should be guaranteed. I'm not putting it down because it should be guaranteed. And 200 eggs.
I'm 46.
I'm hoping I blow that out of the water, but we're going to see.
Okay, great. I added 2 more really quick listening to because you inspired me. Shiny Tyrant and a shiny Lucario as well on my list. Lucario probably won't happen because I'm not going to want to spend time in athletic fields.
No, thank you. I'm going to avoid that.
Tyrant and Arrow Satchel can be hunt together, so that'll be nice. Yep. Okay, well, that's going to do it for this episode. We will see y'all when we get back from GoFest New York. If we didn't see you there first, hopefully we did, for episode 249. Good luck with GoFest New York if you're going to go, and if not, have a lovely weekend all the same. We hope you caught all of the frogs. Have a good one. Shiny vibes. Catch you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.